The courtroom fell silent. Every eye was fixed on her, the survivor. Her voice, trembling yet resolute, cut through the tension like a sharpened blade. "I remember everything," she whispered. That declaration would not just shock the jury, it would send ripples through the entire courtroom, reaching every journalist, every observer, every person watching at home. A story of survival, terror, and ultimate revelation was about to unfold. A story that would grip the public for weeks, perhaps months, after that chilling day. It was a cold evening in late October 2018, when the unthinkable happened in the quiet suburban neighborhood of Maplewood, a town that prided itself on its peaceful streets and friendly neighbors. Nestled on a cul-de-sac, the modest home where the incident occurred seemed ordinary, almost inviting, with warm lights glowing through the curtains and the faint scent of pumpkin spice drifting from the kitchen. Inside, 27-year-old Emma Clark, a young professional with a promising career in marketing, was preparing for a quiet night alone. Friends had left hours earlier, leaving the home eerily silent. Emma was meticulous, organized, and cautious, traits that would ironically juxtapose the chaos about to engulf her life. The perpetrator, later identified as 34-year-old David Mercer, had a history of minor criminal offenses, but nothing that would hint at the malevolence lurking behind his calm exterior. Neighbors recalled seeing him lurking near the park across the street, often at odd hours, his demeanor unsettling but not overtly threatening. The night of the attack, he had been seen walking past Emma's house several times, carrying what appeared to be a small bag, his eyes scanning the windows, observing the interior of the home with unnerving precision. As Emma settled in, the first signs of intrusion were subtle. A soft creak from the staircase, a shadow that seemed too large to belong to her own reflection. She paused, heart racing, gripping her phone as a makeshift weapon, her mind spinning through possibilities. When the door to her living room burst open, the air filled with the stench of sweat and malice. She knew immediately that her life had shifted irreversibly. The struggle was brutal but calculated. Every attempt to escape was met with meticulous force. Emma's screams were muffled by the walls, unheard by neighbors who had locked themselves away behind curtains and closed doors, unsuspecting of the horror taking place just yards away. Minutes stretched like hours. Emma, though terrified, was resourceful. Her mind raced with strategies, recalling techniques she had read in self-defense manuals, desperately searching for leverage in an almost hopeless situation. The attacker's focus wavered for brief moments, and it was during one of these moments that Emma seized an opportunity to strike, narrowly escaping through the back door into the darkness of the night. The cold air was biting, but it carried the sweet relief of survival. She ran through the neighborhood, guided by streetlights and the distant glow of a 24-hour convenience store. Her hands were bruised, her body battered, yet her will to survive was unbroken. Police arrived minutes later, alerted by a frantic 911 call. Officer James Whitman, a veteran with over 20 years on the force, remembered that night vividly. The intensity in Emma's eyes, the clarity in her panicked voice. The scene inside the house was a grim tableau of Ayansa's shattered lamp. Blood spattered across the walls, and signs of a struggle that defied initial comprehension. The meticulous nature of the attack suggested planning, a frightening level of premeditation that chilled even the most seasoned detectives. Evidence collection was painstaking. Fingerprints, fibers, and a discarded glove became the puzzle pieces in a narrative that was only beginning to make sense. The investigation revealed a disturbing pattern. David Mercer had previously stalked other women in the area, but his actions had gone unnoticed, dismissed as harmless or coincidental. With Emma's testimony, the picture became horrifyingly clear. He was not only violent, but calculated, studying his victims' routines, exploiting vulnerabilities with surgical precision. Forensic analysis corroborated Emma's account. The trajectory of items in the room, blood spatter patterns, and surveillance footage from nearby streets painted a damning portrait. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Mercer maintained a calm demeanor, denying all accusations, and attempting to manipulate the narrative, claiming innocence, portraying himself as the victim of a society quick to judge. The courtroom drama intensified as the trial began. Emma's testimony was central, a delicate balance of factual recounting and emotional honesty. Each word she spoke seemed to hang in the air, thick with tension. Jurors leaned forward, captivated and horrified. Mercer's defense attempted to cast doubt, highlighting inconsistencies, questioning the reliability of memory under trauma. Yet, Emma's composure, her unwavering eye contact, and the meticulous detail of her recollection dismantled every attempt at obfuscation. The prosecution presented the evidence methodically: digital footprints, physical traces, behavioral patterns, creating a narrative as precise as it was damning. Public interest soared. News outlets covered every development. Social media buzzed with theories and reactions. And a community once united in ignorance now grappled with fear and anger. The trial highlighted the systemic vulnerabilities in handling stalking and predatory behavior. Advocates for victim protection leveraged Emma's courage to push for legislative changes, emphasizing the importance of early intervention and community vigilance. Emma herself became a reluctant symbol of resilience, her ordeals sparking conversations about safety, awareness, and the limits of justice. The climax of the trial arrived when Emma recounted the precise moment of survival. Her testimony was cinematic in its tension. The calculated strikes, the mental gymnastics, the sheer willpower that propelled her from certain death to escape. The courtroom hung on every syllable. Mercer's face betrayed subtle cracks, flickers of fear, frustration, the unraveling of a controlled facade. The jury, captivated by both the horror and the heroism, deliberated with the gravity the case demanded. Days later, the verdict was announced. Guilty on multiple counts of assault, attempted murder, and premeditated stalking. The sentence was severe, reflecting the magnitude of the crime, yet the shadow of trauma lingered, an indelible mark on all involved. Despite the conviction, questions remained. How could such a meticulously planned attack occur unnoticed in a seemingly safe community? Were there failures in surveillance, community awareness, or law enforcement response? The trial sparked debates on preventative measures, highlighting the tension between privacy, vigilance, and societal responsibility. Emma's experience, while uniquely harrowing, underscored the fragility of perceived safety, a sobering reminder that vigilance must be both individual and collective. The impact extended beyond the courtroom. Emma's narrative inspired documentaries, discussions on self-defense, and heightened awareness about stalking behaviors. Mercer's actions and eventual conviction served as a case study in criminal psychology programs, illustrating the intersection of predatory planning, behavioral cues, and the justice system's challenges in addressing such crimes. Emma, navigating recovery, channeled her experience into advocacy, offering support to other survivors and promoting education on recognizing warning signs and implementing effective safety strategies. In the quiet aftermath, Maplewood began to rebuild its sense of security. Yet the memory of that night lingered. Neighborhood watch programs intensified, community meetings addressed preventative strategies, and residents became acutely aware of the importance of vigilance. The story of survival, of terror, and of courtroom drama became woven into the town's history. A narrative both cautionary and inspiring. Emma's courage resonated widely, a testament to human resilience and the capacity to confront unimaginable fear. The Midnight Crime Vault archives now house this chilling case, a narrative of darkness interrupted by bravery, of horror confronted with clarity. It remains a study of human endurance, of meticulous evil, and of the power of truth in the face of terror. As viewers, we are left to ponder not just the events themselves, but the questions they raise about safety, vigilance, and the unseen threats that can exist even in familiar surroundings. Every shadowed corner, every unexplained noise, every moment of hesitation could hold a story waiting to unfold. So, we ask you, dear viewer, as you sit in the quiet of your room, perhaps glancing toward the darkened corners, who do you think is truly capable of such calculated evil? Could it be someone you know, someone you trust, or someone whose silence hides a dangerous mind? The answers are not always clear, and the shadows often keep their secrets well. But one thing remains undeniable: courage, clarity, and survival can illuminate even the darkest truths. Thank you for watching this episode of Midnight Crime Vault. If this story gripped you, horrified you, and made you question what lurks behind the ordinary, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Join us as we continue to uncover chilling tales of crime, survival, and the shadows that exist just beyond our perception. What would you do if you were in Emma's shoes? Could you survive? And would your story shock the world as hers did?